Okay, it's going to be the outline for the book of Job. And the author is Elihu. See Job 32:15 through 17. And Jesus is pictured as the suffering servant. It's a pretty long book, but the chapters aren't too long. It's 42 chapters, 1,070 verses, and around 10,102 words. Okay, remember I told you the Bible's got three applications, and the historical application is Job is persecuted by the devil. Devotionally, how we can deal with the trials of our life. You know, we can take him as an example. Doctrinally, the book of Job pictures the last 3.5 years of the tribulation and Jesus' suffering. So Job means one persecuted, and that's significant. Job is on the ground for 7 days and 7 nights, picturing the tribulation, which is 7 years, and he's in the land of Uz, where the Jews will be during that time, and see Lamentations 4:21 for that. And Job's 3 friends picture 3 unclean spirits like frogs that come out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast and the false prophet, Revelation 16:13. You got 42 chapters, picturing the 42 months. That's the last 3.5 years of the trib, the time of Jacob's trouble. So Job pictures what the tribulation saints, the Jewish tribulation saints, will be going through. Job gets back double everything that he loses, just like Israel will get back double, just like Isaiah 61:7 says. And Job is the oldest book of the Bible. And the reason for believing this is there is no mention of Jewish customs. Job acted as priest over his own house. No mention of the Exodus. No legal offering referred to. So Job probably lived back during the time of like Abraham. And it was the events of Job don't happen before Genesis 1, but it was written before Moses wrote Genesis, is what I'm trying to say. Job would have lived before Moses, and Moses wrote Genesis. So it's the oldest book on the planet, really. And Job gives us 5 views of suffering. There's 5 views to suffering. The first one is Satan is behind it. The second one is a mystery or puzzle. You're confused by it. The next one is sin must be punished. God will sometimes chasten us with suffering. Number 4, suffering helps purify you. It makes you better. Number 5, the Lord allows it so we can get a reward for enduring it and having a good attitude during it. Now, a basic breakdown is chapters 1 through 2. You got God, Satan, and the sons of God talking. And they're talking about God brings up Job, and it says, "Have you considered my servant Job?" And chapters 3 through 37, you got Job and his 3 friends and Elihu going back and forth. One of them will talk, then Job will reply, then the next one will talk, Job will reply. 38 through 42, you got God, family, and friends. And, of course, Job gets restored back double at the end. And in these chapters is where you'll see Behemoth and Leviathan. Now, a big breakdown. Chapter 1, you got Job's character and wealth discussed. And the devil starts his persecution here after he presents himself before the Lord. Chapter 2, Satan presents himself again. He attacks Job's health and attacks Job through his wife, through his 3 friends. And his 3 friends are introduced: Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. That's the main characters in this. Chapter 3, Job wishes he was never born. Chapter 4, Eliphaz speaks. He believes Job is self-righteous. Chapter 5, Eliphaz says, "Yet man is born unto trouble as the sparks fly upward." That's that famous verse, is in that chapter. Chapter 6, you got Job's reply to Eliphaz. Chapter 7, Job continues talking. Chapter 8, Bildad speaks and believes that Job should repent of something. He thinks he's in a mess because he needs to repent of something. Chapter 9, you got Job's reply. In chapter 10, Job continues. Chapter 11, Zophar speaks and tells Job he deserves worse than he's got. And these guys are rough. And it's good to put these at the beginning of each chapter. That way you know who's speaking in this book of the Bible. Because a lot of times you'll think Job said something when it was really one of these other three. Chapter 12, you got Job's reply. Chapter 13, you got the famous verse when Job says, though he slay me, yet will I trust in him. Chapter 14, Job explains that life is a few days. Chapter 15, Eliphaz believes Job doesn't fear God. But we know that's not true because of what God himself said about Job to the devil. He said, one that feareth God and escheweth evil. Chapter 16, Job explains how his friends are miserable comforters. With friends like them, who needs enemies? Chapter 17, Job continues talking. Chapter 18, you got Bildad speaking. Chapter 19, Job replies, my Redeemer liveth. That famous verse. Chapter 20, Zophar speaks. And 21, Job replies. 22, Eliphaz believed Job's wickedness is great. 23, Job believes God is hiding from him. 24, Job continues. 25, Bildad says, man is a worm. And even though these guys are accusing Job, they say some things that are right and good. Chapter 26, Job replies and gives some questions that you'll probably be asked at the judgment. 27, Job maintains his integrity. 28, Job says, whence then cometh wisdom? 29, Job recalls the months past, back before all this took place. Chapter 30, Job continues. 31, Job's final appeal. 32, Elihu shows up and he rebukes Job, Job's three friends. Then 33, Elihu rebukes Job. 34, Elihu asserts God's justice. 35, Elihu condemns Job. 36, Elihu exerts God's greatness. 37, Elihu proclaims God's majesty. 38, the Lord answers Job out of a whirlwind. 39, the Lord continues. 40, you got that about Behemoth. 41, you got Leviathan, which is the devil. And then 42, the Lord restores Job. And there's all kinds of great practical stuff in this book that can be a comfort to you in just any trial you're going through. But it's more than that. It's got it's prophetic. It's picturing that last 3.5 years of the tribulation. I mean, Job means one persecuted. He's on the ground 7 days and 7 nights. 42 chapters matching the 42 months. He's restored double. It's a very interesting book.